One of the best places to start a search for educational research is in a library that has an educational research librarian that it also aggressively goes after finding the types of sources that educators need to do good research. Some of those can be found within school districts, but available to you as a student here is the CRIS Library. This is the home page of the CRIS Library, and where you're going to be looking is over here on the right hand side. Once you're over there, you can see that if you're looking for books, you can type your title in there if you know what it is, but you can also type in subjects. For example, I've just done a recent search for emotionally intelligent leaders, and so I type those terms in there and see what that comes up with. Hit go, and it's going to show us what's available through the library. Now, I've already read the Goleman books, so I'm not going to be looking there. But if I were going to be looking there, I can come down here and see if it's available for me to check out. And I can see, in this case, this is the call number where I'd find it in the library, but right now it's on hold, so I would go up to the main desk and ask for it. The nice thing that's available more and more, however, is you're going to be seeing some little E's there that many of the books are available as ebooks that you can look at them from home. This looks like something might be helpful to my study. I can click on it and get much more information, but I already have done that. I'm just going to show you now how to get in. So I click on View Now, view the ebook. And since I'm not on campus at this time, I have to put in my ID. If you're on campus, that piece won't show. And over here, it tells more about the book, but right underneath the cover here is where it says Read Online. And just as fast as that, I'm going to be in here and actually able to go in and read this book. And I can make screenshots of what I need out of it. It's very helpful to be able to come back to this. So if I'm just reading this as an ebook, I'm going to want to some way capture in a database, a print, some way get the pieces of what I want out of this, so that 2 weeks from now or a month from now, when I'm trying to remember where did I have that good information, I need to be able to come back and actually get the words and the page numbers of what it is that I'm reading. You won't use everything you read, but you can't always tell what that thing is until later. Sometimes you don't know it right away. Okay, back to the library page again. Now I want to talk about journal articles. If I want to find journal articles, I'm going to go into databases. There's a lot of different databases, so I'm just going to go to the top ones. And the most common one that's being used now in education at this library is Education Source. However, if you talk to your research librarian, you may find that you need to go to PsycInfo or some other source. But Education Source is a good general one to find journal articles. So I'm going to click on that, and it's just doing the regular search. I'm going to again put emotional intelligence for one of my factors. But this time I'm going to go after what I'm looking at is emotional intelligent leaders and how they affect school climate is what I'm searching for. So I put that in it. You'll notice I didn't put it all in one row. If I put it all in one row, it sometimes confuses the database. That's why you put your separate variables in separate columns. So the other thing I'm going to come down here and do is I want to be able to read the thing. I don't just want an abstract or, a title. I want the whole text of that. So I'm going to ask for only full text ones, and I'm going to ask for it to search. Because I want ones that I can get access to if I decide that it's helpful to me. Now, interestingly enough, when I do that, I see two different things over here. One is I see a periodical, and the other is an academic journal. Now the difference between those is a periodical. If I run over here, I see that it's Phi Delta Kappan. It is not a peer-reviewed journal. That doesn't make it bad. I mean, this may be the article that I need most of all, but I do pay attention to that I am getting a good blend of that, and I'm not just going down and reading all academic journals and getting everything out of what journal is this? That's an academic journal, Journal of Whole Schooling. But I don't also want to get all just periodicals either and end up with everything out of Ed Leadership or Kappan. How do I get that thing then? Right underneath here is where the full text of the article is. And once again, it will come to you in the same format as if it's a photograph right out of that periodical or right out of that magazine or journal. And so that way, as you're working with things, you can actually, when you're making quotes, you have to know the page number. You can get the actual page numbers themselves. Again, as you're going to be going through this, you need to have some way of cataloging or analyzing, and there actually is in the library. You can go and look up RefWorks, and RefWorks will help you organize all of these things that you're reading. So that's where we can go to get some things in the library, and we can gather and get a whole stack of different things to read and find some that are real helpful to us and some of them not so helpful to us. But there is also this standard of things that I'd like to bring to you. Well, let's see if I can get that PowerPoint slide to get bigger here, but in the meantime you can see it in your handout. There is a balance of what you want to do as you're looking through research. You don't want everything to be journal articles. You don't want everything to be books. Why? Because it has a lot to do with, no, it's not opening for me. Can you look at it over here with me? It has a lot to do with how, well, there it is. That was interesting. It has a lot to do with how new the information is. This graphic shows that there are early stage materials, like the stuff you get right off the internet that's brand new. Books take a while to get published. They're down here. I was looking through books on a topic the other day at the library, and I couldn't find anything that was published in the last 3 years in that way. Now, when I went to ebooks, I got them because they got published faster. You want to balance between them. Most of your work will be right here in the center in those journal articles and indexed publications. They are not so new that they become obsolete or that disproven. They're old enough ideas that experts have agreed that this should be published. But they aren't so old in here that they have lost their usefulness to you. Why do you want a combination? Because the farther down you go in this pyramid, also, if you look at the other side, the number of layers that something has to go through to get published changes. A book has many more layers of people agreeing that it needs to be published than something that's typed up on the internet. And so you want to have a combination depending on your topics. Some topics will lend themselves much more to early stage material, and some of them you'll lean more toward books. There's one thing on here, though, I wanted to tell you about. There are these summaries. There are great, big, huge reference books that are called like not journal, but summaries of educational research or teacher education or literacy, or all of those things where they go back and they summarize what has been done and what needs to be done. These are really helpful for you to help figure out what you need to do in your literature review, what the scope of the field is. It's older material because they're looking backwards, but those are often forgotten about as people find their resources.